Hi everyone! Today I'm gonna show you a pinayskitchen version of the traditional kimchi and radish kimchi. We are using Napa cabbage for this. To split the cabbage in half without shredding the leaves inside, first cut a short slit in the base of the cabbage, enough to get a grip on either half, and then gently pull the leaves apart so the cabbage splits open. And then cut a slit through the core of each half about 2 inches above the stem. You want the cabbage leaves to be loose but still attached to the core. Rinse cabbage in a cold running water and set them on a colander or a strainer for a couple of minutes to remove excess water. I am using kosher coarse salt here, or you can use rock salt as well. So sprinkle the salt between the leaves by lifting up every leaf. Use more salt closer to the stems where the leaves are thicker. After salting all the layers, let the cabbage rest for 2 hours. Turn over every 30 minutes so they get well salted. In the meantime, you can start slicing the rest of your vegetables. All the lists and measurements of all the ingredients here are in the description below, so check that out. In the food processor, mix in your ginger, garlic, and onions and process that until almost paste-like. You can also hand chop these, but just make sure that you chop it really fine. Now in making the porridge, combine the water and the sweet rice flour in a small pot. Cook over medium heat for about 10 minutes until it starts to bubble. And then stir in sugar and keep cooking for another minute. Remove it from heat and let it cool off completely. I'm using a bowl over ice to speed up the cooling process. For the radish kimchi, I'm tossing the radish with sugar and salt and leave it there for 30 minutes until all the water comes out. When your porridge is cool enough to handle, you can start mixing it with all the ingredients. So you can start adding your processed ginger, garlic, and onions. Add in your fish sauce. And then I have here dried fermented shrimp. These are small ones. You can find it in the Korean aisle, in the cooler section, in your local Asian stores. Make sure to chop it in a really small, fine chop, and then add it in your mixture. Now I'm adding Korean crushed red pepper flakes. You can adjust this depending on the spiciness or the heat level that you want on your kimchi. And then I'm gonna add my vegetables, which is scallions, the radish, and carrots. So after 2 hours, you can now wash your cabbage under running cold water. You can do this a few times to remove the salt. As you wash, You can split the halves into quarters along the slits you cut into earlier. Cut off the cores if needed and put them in a strainer or a colander so they can drain well. For the radish, after 30 minutes of waiting, you can now squeeze out all that liquid from it. In making your radish kimchi, scoop a little bit of the sauce from our porridge and mix it with a radish. Toss your radish until everything is fully coated with the sauce. And you can store it in an airtight container or a mason jar, and make sure to press it down to remove all the air from the bottom of the container. Now on to our traditional kimchi. So spread some kimchi paste on each cabbage leaf. When every leaf in a quarter is covered with paste, wrap it around itself into a small packet. You can store it in a jar or a plastic container. And press it from the surface with a spoon to release the bubbles from beneath. You can eat this kimchi right away, or you can let it sit for a few days to ferment. For fermenting the kimchi, it will start to ferment by letting it sit in a room temperature for a day or two. The warmer your room is, the faster the kimchi will ferment. You will know it's fermenting once the smell and the taste is sour. After a couple of days of fermenting, you can now store your kimchi in the fridge to use as needed. This will slow down the fermentation process, which will make the kimchi more and more sour as time goes on. I hope you guys learned something from this episode. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe below. Thank you guys for watching. This is Krista of Pinayskitchen. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.